and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with
Justin DeClue
and Colin Cunningham.
And today we're talking about a hidden relic from the past that has just been found, like a diamond.
We had to go to the jungles. We fought rattlesnakes to get it, and we also have a background filled with circus acts and revenge.
Oh, this is amazing. So give some backstory on this film, Justin. This is something that you and Peter showed twice at the Laser Blast Film Society.
No, it's called The Astrologer, and it's from 1976, correct?
75?
Yes.
70? No, because there's one that came out in 75, I think.
Okay.
I think they both came out in the same year or around the same year. It is not James Glickenhaus's The Astrologer.
Yeah, so I posted about this on Twitter, and people are saying, oh, it's already on Tubi. That's not the movie we're talking about. This one never got a release.
It's only on YouTube right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody uploaded it, somebody that obviously had access to the copy, somebody that may have been close to the people that were distributing it. Okay, so I'll go through the story as quickly as I can. Nicholas Winding Refn, the director of Drive and Only God Forgives, bought a bunch of 35mm prints. He thought he had bought James Glickenhaus's The Astrologer, because he's a James Glickenhausen fan. Then he looked at the print and went, oh man, it's not this, but what the hell is this? And then he discovered that he had discovered a whole other film called The Astrologer, one that had never been released on VHS, no one had really ever talked about or written about. So this is essentially a lost movie. Written, directed, starring, produced by Craig Denny, the titular astrologer. Yes. So once Nicholas Winding Refn got prints of it, I think it screened at, I'm going to guess, a Fantastic Fest for the first time, and it started touring, and they found out that Lionsgate owns the rights to it. Lionsgate is not a company that likes to give out movies to share, does not do kind of like retrospectives of films, and they said, listen, you pay us, we'll let you release it, but we're not going to release it ourselves because it's filled with copyrighted music, specifically lots of songs by the Moody Blues.
Mm-hmm. So much so that they got a credit in the opening credits of the movie, soundtrack by the Moody Blues.
I do not believe their permission was given to use their music.
They didn't even know about it.
It played at a bunch of film festivals, but it was believed by most that it was never going to see the light of day for public home consumption until somebody just posted it on YouTube. And now anyone can watch The Astrologer.
And it was posted like last week as of this recording. So it's new.
And it's pretty good quality too. It's 2K.
Mm-hmm. It's great quality.
Yeah. So
it's whoever had access to probably the digital file that theaters were given to screen the movie.
Right. And I think Tim League from Alamo Drafthouse had something to do with it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, because he's the Fantastic Fest guy. So it probably played at somewhere like Fantastic Fest for the first time.
Yeah. Now you guys, so it was toured around. I guess they had to put it on DCP. They scanned it from the 35.
So we got it from the America Genre Film Archives, which is Tim League's company.
And I think it was supposed to show, what was like some film festival 2 years ago.
In Milwaukee.
Was it in Milwaukee?
It might have been
or Chicago or something.
Yeah, they didn't have the key for the DCP, right?
Yeah, everyone was really excited it was going to play, and then they ended up not being able to play it. But
that was a B-Fest, I think.
Yeah, but then it was pulled. They weren't allowed to even tour it around anymore. So,
well, like, how do the rights? If we don't know who owns the rights,
Lionsgate does.
Has it, so they will let you screen it, but not release it.
I don't even think that you're allowed to screen it anymore. From what I was
think
told.
they may have kind of like put the end to that as well.
On it. Yeah, and that's what made it so rare. So we saw it twice. You guys showed it twice, and it's one of those films that if it is screening, go to see it.
This
is a movie that is best experienced with a crowd of people.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, we watched it for the third time for this podcast at home, and it's not exactly the same.
No, it's a different experience.
Especially when you've seen it before, so you know what's going to happen.
I mean, I've seen it maybe like 4 or 5 times, and I completely forget every time.
I know,
it happens so quickly. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. We'll get to it when we get to there.
Well, do you want to talk about how like there's the behind the scenes story of the
of Craig Denny himself?
Yeah, and how he may have faked his own death. Or not.
Well, yeah, because Craig Denny disappeared, and nobody who knew him, who worked on this film, some of them that were his friends, like the co-star Darian Earl, who plays the character of Darian in the picture.
Who is his cousin, I believe.
Oh, is that who? He was his cousin? I mean, They don't know where he went. They believe that he may have owed money to the mob. and some of it that may have funded this motion picture, and he just disappeared off the face of the earth. It's probably like buried under a sports field or something like that.
Yeah, I had heard like he went to South America or something like that.
It's just like his character.
Yeah, and then they contacted like an ex-wife who said he was dead, or he was believed to have been dead.
But she said it in a way that was like, and don't go looking for him, he's dead. Wink, like that that type of thing. But I mean, this is all just the
hearsay.
lore. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes the movie even more interesting because, he plays almost the exact same character in the movie. It's a very meta movie.
It's
it's super meta, considering at one point they go and see The Astrologer starring Craig Denny.
Which is so funny, yeah.
This movie is like your classic vanity project, but it's also like an adventure movie, but it's also Citizen Kane.
But he's also like a piece of shit, though.
Like he is. He's like the most despicable protagonist, and every time he's on screen, you just can't get a sense of how smug he is. He has this smug smirk.
He also doesn't react properly when his friends and colleagues are killed. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that
he's like, he's dead. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, basically.
Let's leave him.
Well, so the film opens on a big orchestral score and a credit that says Craig Denny's theatrical film version of The Astrologer. And I'm like, is there a book version or like
no?
a
It's
play
not
version?
It's not only that. There's 3 credits and they don't really tie together. It's Republic Arts presents Ernest John Helms production, Craig Denny's theatrical film version. And then it never says The Astrologer.
Oh, it doesn't say The Astrologer?
No, it goes right into the credits. It goes right into the cast. So
I think maybe it does at the end.
I like to think that the movie's called Craig Denny's theatrical film version.
He really needs to get his name. It's in the title of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
His name's got to be out there. Now, he doesn't play he plays, himself, but his character is named Craig Alexander, I think.
Yeah. Everybody has their same first names, but
he goes by Alexander.
So,
and we open with voiceover where he's like, I'm a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's essentially what he says. I think it's like, I never meant to hurt anyone in my life, but you got to get them before they get you.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, boy, this is our protagonist.
And this narration goes throughout the whole movie, and a lot of times it's just helping explain the process of events, giving us connective tissue, but other times he's just explaining things that we just saw.
But it feels like so much of this movie has been edited out.
Well, it feels like a 22 episode TV show that they edited into a theatrical feature.
Yeah, it's just there's so many edits. They're just so abrupt, and it'll just cut to this huge time jump.
It's like one of those anime movies that is just a recap of the series.
Yeah, the theatrical version. Oh, that's why that credit. The theatrical film version. It was obviously a TV series before.
It certainly seems like that because there's just so many locations and scenes, but there's no like lead up or again connective tissue to get us from here to there. It just jumps.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it opens with him as a kid at the circus, and then he steals some money, goes to jail, and the cops are like, been to jail before? Well, you're going now. And then it cuts to him as an adult at the circus. It's like, do we have to take this big, like, circuitous path to get here?
Yeah, so his mom is arguing with him as a kid. Like, you poured paint thinner on the cop cars. They arrest him. He's got to be, like, 11 years old or something in this scene.
Yeah.
They cut to the cops, like, arresting him, and then he's immediately on a chain gang working.
For little kids.
Like, digging ditches. It looks like he's with adults, and he's, like, 11 years old, and it's like, what is this, like, Cool Hand Luke or something like that?
Nope, because we're back to the circus again. The great Alexander.
We're in the circus for a little while. He becomes an astrologer at the circus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a question. Colin, April, do you guys follow astrology? Do you read your horoscopes?
No.
No, I used to when I was like a teenager, but
Sure.
I don't know. I don't follow
I
it
would
anymore.
always like read the horoscopes and then just like, okay, let's just pick a random one and see if that one fits me as well. It's like, oh yeah, they're all sort of geared that, makes you believe that,
I mean,
that's just like my life.
I do believe a little bit about the personality types, but you can also be like, well, I'm nothing like a
Exactly.
Aries or
I know
Scorpio
people who are so into this stuff.
Well,
It's
it sounds like both
unbelievable.
of you are Sagittarius. I don't know. I don't know how it applies.
No,
I mean,
That's just
it gives
what,
people
that's just what a Libra
structure.
would say.
Like, it doesn't hurt anyone, I guess, unless they're murdering people based on their astrological signs, which is maybe the plot of the other Astrologer.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be the plot of the other Astrologer. But no, this is not a horror movie. I don't know what kind of movie this is.
So you weren't buying the very dense astrology that is on display in this picture.
Yeah, what is he saying? He's like, well, when this is rising and this, like it just goes on and on about him reading people's charts, and it just sounds like gobbledygook he made up.
It's a particular type of astrology, I think. He says it multiple times. But I feel like Craig Denny was actually an astrologer.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Yeah.
He had to be to make this movie.
Yeah, he's very passionate. It goes into great detail, and it's just like a hangout movie. You're just hanging out with this dude.
You're hanging out, but he does do a lot of different stuff.
He just travels. Yeah. This is
like when his friend after the circus scene is like, "Hey, I got some diamonds." Cut to Craig Denny on like a chain gang at an African prison.
Yeah,
more or less, yes.
Yeah, it's we're talking about abrupt cuts, lots of ADR, lots of narration, and so he goes on a picnic in a cemetery with this rich couple
where you never see Craig Denny's face, so I assume he was there was a stand-in. He couldn't be in it.
You just hear lots of ADR,
lots of ADR,
and they've got a deal for him. They say, "What do you think about these?" And they show him some jewels, and it immediately cuts to him in Kenyan prison, and this is his second offense. He's already been there for so long.
And they say in VO, you might need to do some jail time.
And this is the best shot of the movie, where the camera tracks across all these prisoners and then kind of like passes Craig Denny, the like as white as you can be, shirt off, crepe beard, gun out.
Yeah, it's all these like shirtless dudes who are, buff and ripped, and then he's just like this schlub with his gut out. And like even the way he stands, his body language is so smug.
Oh, he has like a little like DreamWorks smile on his face the entire time.
It's just like he knows something that you don't, and
he does astrology. He's got us unbelievers. That's why we're losing at this game.
And he's always got his thumbs looped around his belt, and like the way he's standing, it just really irritates me.
That's the other thing about Craig Denny in this movie. He's a bad actor, and all the actors are bad. They're not horrible, but he just is he's on one speed most of the movie.
When you're Craig Denny, you only need to be on one speed.
Yeah,
Craig
the max
speed.
I think it was somebody on Twitter who said this is like, well, that escalated quickly, the movie. Because it is. Absolutely. It's like everything is like, oh my God. Like cut to see like the scene where they're like, watch out, there's quicksand. And then the next cut is the woman basically
dying of quicksand.
Dead in quicksand.
Oh, it's ridiculous to say, but like this whole African section is the like most boring part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's true, unfortunately, even though there's like action and diamond smuggling and
like he doesn't get back to the States until like the 40-minute mark of a 79-minute movie.
The other issue with this African and the islands sequence is that we talk about how it just cuts, but this section actually has him traveling from one country to another in this long sequence where he's on a sailboat.
Oh, that's the best. Isn't it like set to a Moody Blues song?
Yeah,
it's just like on the sailboat.
Tuesday something, or they name the days of the week.
Yeah, this whole like section is basically like Craig Denny's like travels. This could be a travel show.
Like you're sitting in his living room and he's showing you his slides and explaining what happened.
Oh my God.
Moody's blues vinyl.
There's entire shots like, if he's going to a bar or to a location, they'll like show him in real time traveling to this bar and walking across the street. Walking down, gotta wait for a car.
At the same time, like every other scene is like cut so fast. But like the thing about him getting on the sailboat is it just like he's in one country and then we just see him on a sailboat. We don't know who these people are. We don't know where he's going. So, and it just goes on and on with how like the spinning newspaper? Well, this movie has spinning newspapers, but in this section, it also has like a calendar saying the days of the week.
It goes with the song.
Yeah, exactly. The editing is very literal to what the lyrics of the songs are.
And we're skipping over like
Tons.
him shooting rattlesnakes, stealing a cursed diamond.
That rattlesnake sequence is awful because I was like, they better not fucking hurt any snakes. But
they're hurting those snakes.
No.
They
All they
don't show any
did
of them
was
getting
drop them from where they were like sitting, and then that's supposed to be them being shot.
If that's what you want to believe.
Okay. Well, this is we skipped over so much.
Well, he meets the African tribe leader, and that it gets to be very important later.
Well, first of all, we got to like go back to the carnival when he's a carny. He meets his future wife.
Yeah, who I read that was his cousin in real life, which is awkward.
It's just so gross.
I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that multiple times, so I think it's true.
Yeah, so did I.
Darian is her name.
He ends up like marrying her. He gives her a reading, and then he goes to his buddy. He goes, give her money back. Why? I'm going to marry her. And then the very next scene...
get married in the carnival,
They didn't, no. But he says, I'm going to marry her. And then the very next scene, it's just her very abrupt cut of her saying, gee, I've never lived in a trailer before. And he says, it's only temporary. We're going to live like kings and queens. Abrupt cut, narration. It's 2 years later, and we were not living like kings and queens.
We're very poor. Blah, blah, blah. Now, she leaves him, doesn't she?
She leaves him, yeah. He owes money.
Yeah, that's important because she comes back later.
Oh, boy, does she ever.
She is not the woman that sinks in quicksand, nor is she the woman that Craig Denny gives up to a warlord to save his own life.
Yeah.
No, so he has no like respect for women or people in this movie.
So it's the rich couple that he met in the cemetery. They want him to help out find these jewels in Africa.
Smuggling.
Diamonds and rubies.
Caper.
So it's this couple that he travels with to Africa. And they have this movie's version of an Indiana Jones adventure scene.
Yes. You're right. They're on a safari or whatever. But yeah, anyway, so before the rattlesnake scene is the scene where he meets the African tribe leader.
Right.
And he's bringing him scotch and something else. And then he's like, tell me his birthday and his what time it was he was born. And he gives him this like astrology reading.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then basically the tribe leader warns him, what does he say? Like, listen for the drums.
When you hear the drums, you're already dead.
Yeah, and so he feels like, it seems almost like it's a warning, but it also seems like he almost like put a curse on him or something. But
yeah.
Alexander, Craig Denny, is the one who's doing all this bad stuff. So if he... everything he gets is comeuppance.
Yeah. And then everyone around him is brought down as well because he's such a scumbag.
True. That's
bad
very
juju
true.
Is what somebody else says in the movie.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, we're at this Indiana Jones adventure scene, which looks like they're just in somebody's backyard. And one of the producers
they're definitely in someone's backyard.
You mean they didn't go to Kenya?
No, they're kind of like hacking through the jungle, which is strange because they actually do go to locations, a lot of locations in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if they are the real locations.
No, but
he is on an island.
Clearly not in California. So they come across, and then they're playing Mars, Bringer of War. Gustav
Holst, a fantastic composer. So much of his music is used in this movie. It's all from Mars, but yeah.
Yeah, they like this song so much they use it multiple times.
Yeah, it's in the public domain. They probably just got like some Russian orchestral playing.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not sure it's in the public domain, but
it is definitely in the public domain.
I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
It's not important.
Yeah, this is like the cheapest Indiana Jones scene. It's just like this, I don't know, it's not even a temple. It's just like an altar or something outdoors with a couple of cobras. And then his buddy gets bitten and dies.
And dies instantly.
And then his wife is like, what happened to what's his name? He's like, he's dead. Let's get out of here.
Cut to them running away. So she seemingly doesn't even care. And then there's a weird scene where she gets like some guy attempts to rape her, right?
Yeah, they meet this American guy. I think they're just trying to unload these jewels or, Craig Alexander. They're chasing him. The government's chasing him. And they meet this like drunk guy and he's like, all right, I'll help you find a boat off this place, but you have to leave me the girl. He's like, I'm tired of native girls. And then, And then like he shoots him, right? Yeah, and the woman says, oh, don't worry. And then the very next scene, he's like forcing himself on the woman, and Craig Denny sneaks into the place and just blows him away.
So he murders. That's murder number one.
Number one
for our hero.
And we get a nice like dripping blood wipe down the screen too.
That was insane. It's just like a overlay on the screen, like dripping blood. There's these little touches here and there in this movie that puts it beyond the scope of your ordinary, boring, like 70s movie.
And then you can, when the tribesman is talking about the curse, and then you see like the kind of skeleton like floating towards camera.
Yeah, they also keep cutting to the full moon later, just randomly.
Yeah, you think like a werewolf is coming or something.
I know. I thought that.
Oh, I think it's a astrology thing.
But then, he's escaping with this older woman, and he says, "Wait here. We're surrounded by quicksand." And we get Holst again. She sees like a snake, gets freaked out, and is immediately drowning in quicksand.
Yeah, he should have took her with him.
I don't know where he was going.
It's not clear.
It just cuts to her hand going under the quicksand.
Movie, but the point is, she cut to her hand sinking.
So she's dead, and then it immediately cuts to him waving at a sailboat with the most upbeat music. Like nothing.
He's happy.
Yeah, it's the Moody Blues. Finally free.
I will say I actually like the Moody Blues. I'm not like a huge fan and know like tons of their songs, but I've always liked them.
Yeah.
A little too moody for my taste.
This sailboat journey is so lengthy.
Yeah, I mean, like, it does have the advantage of having a cool song.
It's like a montage.
But
There's lots of montages.
It's just them living on a boat for, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe?
Somebody counted, I think it was like 2.5 months it took them to journey from Africa to Tahiti by boat. It's like, what were they doing? They're going in circles.
We don't know.
They were fishing, laying out in the sun, just getting good vibes.
Oh, it looks amazing. It looks so fun.
It does kind of make you want to go on a sailboat.
You should be on a travel show. The Astrologer Travels.
Well,
and then the sequence ends. This is amazing. This is like the longest 360 helicopter shot of a boat.
Oh yeah.
This got so many laughs in the theater when we saw it because it just keeps going on and on and on, and then just people start laughing and laughing, and everyone was just cracking up by the end.
Well, I was watching it this time and I was like, finally they get to America, and it's like, nope. Like you said, they're in Tahiti.
They're in Tahiti.
Now the next section is about him trying to sell his diamonds.
Yeah, and then again, it's just
about the guy chasing him, right?
Yeah, so this is like a real-time sequence of him walking to a bar. The first of a couple of funny bar scenes in this movie. He's trying to unload, either get off, get back to America, or just like unload these jewels.
Well, I think he wants to sell the jewels because he wants to be famous or rich. Sorry.
And he goes to this like tiki bar in Tahiti. I don't know if it's a tiki bar, but there's so many sailors in the bar, and all the sailors are wearing striped T-shirts. They're the most sailory looking sailors you've ever seen.
Well, how else do you get across that they're sailors?
They're sailors. Well, they got eye patches and sailors' dickies and striped shirts.
Yeah, they need like a little pipe, and they need one eye closed because they got it gouged out, and they got little muscles, and they drink some spinach.
And some,
maybe a parrot on their shoulder? Oh, no, that's pirate.
No,
that's a pirate. How dare you? Popeye would never have a pirate.
They're drinking
a parrot.
They're drinking some grog. And then nothing is, you don't really even hear them talking or whatever. Some guy tries to attack him and he smashes the guy in the face with a bottle.
Smashes a glass in his face.
That's the end of that scene.
So that's just supposed to show how it's hard for him to trust anybody. And then I think we get the guy who was his warden in jail in Kenya.
Yeah, who's chasing
found him. And he's, I guess we never described how he got out of jail. His like rich, like, friends like bail him out.
Yeah.
So why is he chasing him? I don't know.
And then the kind of warden / chief of police.
I guess he's chasing him because he stole the jewels.
I guess.
They belong to Africa.
Yeah. So he kind of meets up with this blonde woman who says, I can like hook you up. And then we get this amazing bar scene montage.
It's fantastic. And it might be like one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I mean, I have a lot of favorite scenes, but it's a great musical montage that involves tons of new characters that never come back. It's just setting the mood.
You get a little bit of nudity for the horn dogs out in the audience as well.
This is like the horniest scene. It's like everyone is picking up in this scene. It's just cutting to like couples making out. There's one old bald guy at a table with two old white women. People go up and give him money and they show their boobs.
I think he's giving them cocaine.
Is he?
I think so.
Okay. There's like
here's payment. See my boobs. I don't know.
I guess. And then there's like a POV, a fisheye POV.
It's the roundest fisheye I've ever seen. And I mean, is that the first POV in cinema? No, of course,
of course not.
No, of course not. But it's a very old fashioned.
It's probably the first one of somebody walking into like a men's urinal and watching somebody pee for some reason. It's very strange.
I'm surprised nobody was like, look at Craig's dick. It's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then at one point the camera goes right into the urinal. It's really strange.
Yeah. Odd choice. I really like the song in this sequence. I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, it's like a doo-wop song. And it just seems so like hot and sweaty and gross, and like all the patrons are all white people, so they all seemed like tourists who are trying to like get their rocks off on vacation. That's the vibe that I got. Anyway.
Yeah, it's really kind of sleazy. And then the whole point of the scene is just this blonde woman picks up Craig Denny and brings him to the chief of police.
Yeah, because she's like, I want 10% of the sale, and it does not go well, unfortunately. Can you imagine that it was going to go bad?
Yeah, so I guess...
I thought everybody would make it out without any problems.
Yeah, only Craig Denny.
Yeah, and he's moved on. And
so what happens is the guy who was chasing him, the warden, is like, well, screw you, blonde lady. Like, I don't care about you. I'm just here to bust this guy. And then she's like, you can't do this to me. And she shoots him in the head, and they had like a squib and everything.
Yeah, blows him away.
And then quick cut, like he gets shot, cut away. And for me, the film finally starts 40 minutes in.
No, this is Craig Denny diving for oysters.
Yeah, there's another
sequence.
So this is what I call, if you need to go to the bathroom, go at this point. It's got to be stock footage, right? Because we never see his face.
It kind of looked like him, though. I could tell by his pasty, schlubby body.
My theory is that it's stock footage, and this was in here to pad the movie out.
It's just like silhouette of him.
It's not even him. It's he goes on a boat with another guy, and the other guy dives for
Well, it's
oysters.
a silhouette. He shows up on the beach to a guy with like a boat, and then just points to the ocean, and then, well, he's diving for oysters in an extended scene.
Well, it does have a plot significance because, well, he says, he's like, I asked my oyster guy where he takes the pearls he occasionally finds. This is all VO, and he directed me to this guy, and then he's this long, lengthy explanation about how he's gonna mail the jewels to this guy in separate shipments. It's this big, long, complicated thing that only he would understand because he's so much smarter than us.
And now,
doesn't he start working for the American government already?
He shows up.
That's next.
This is immediately, yeah. So he's back in the U.S. finally. This is at the 40-minute mark, and like, I guess the movie is kind of starting.
By the way, this movie is only an hour and 18 minutes long. It's very short.
It's 79 minutes. So I guess he's using all the money to start up an astrology business or something like that.
Oh, not an astrology business, an astrology empire.
I wanted to do, this is what I always wanted to do, to be the world's greatest mystic, which I guess was a thing in the 70s. I mean, you know,
sure.
You could be a popular, like, all I know is like Miss Coco, was that her name?
Yeah, there's not really any like mainstream like mystics these days, right?
No.
Wait, you're talking about Miss Cleo?
Oh, Miss Cleo. Oh, did I say Coco?
You said Coco.
I'm sorry, I meant Miss Cleo. And then who was the guy who had like would move his hands like that, and he was like on TV, and he was like Spanish.
Oh, who's the Spanish guy with like the big? He looked like Liberace.
He had like a Liberace outfit. I forget, but I think he was on another. He was a television mystic.
There's like a documentary on him that.
Yeah,
just came
I'm
out.
sorry, his name is escaping me right now. But
no, yeah, I have no idea. I do not follow that stuff. I guess that's daytime television.
You'd probably know him if you
material.
saw him. He has like horrible plastic surgery.
Well, I didn't know him until someone did him on Drag Race, so that's just where I'm coming from. So now it's very like Citizen Kane-y, right?
For sure, yeah. It's the rise and fall of the astrologer.
And he does fall, but most of the movie is his rise.
But it's
because
all the details.
Did you put all of this in order, Colin? All the stuff that he does?
No, this
too
is
much stuff.
I just had to like kind of get the highlights out here. I was rushing through it before we started, so.
I mean, it doesn't really matter in what order it happens.
It doesn't. There's
because
just scenes.
Yeah, like he makes a movie based on the adventures we've watched in the previous 40 minutes.
So this
also stars him.
Yeah, this was so funny because at one point we were at the Royal Cinema, and at one point it's him watching the movie called The Astrologer, and they cut to the marquee sign outside saying The Astrologer, which was just like the Royal Cinema that we saw it in. And then at one point he's watching the screen with the curtains of the screen to the side, and we were watching the screen with the curtains at the side. So it's just like...
It was quite a meta moment for all of us.
Doing my head in. And then it cuts to him watching the movie and
everyone's like, oh, it's such a great picture.
He gives
sorry, I just want to say what's on the screen is the most boring crap. It's like literally just him giving a woman, I think, an astrology reading. It's not even like fun, cool.
He smirks, like this smirk that he gives himself watching himself on screen is just like, he is so in love with himself. It's crazy.
I agree. It's a DreamWorks-esque smirk.
Oh, it's just
exactly.
Like, you just want to strangle
It's like an astrologer's tale. Based on the classic A Shark's Tale, in case anybody doesn't remember.
Yeah. And then it shows him like, at the movie premiere, and he's saying how much money the movie made. It grossed $140 million. Because everybody wants to see the astrologer's life story.
It is like showing him on the red carpet and going into a limousine. It's all done in like montage kind of. Mm-hmm. And then there's something with him like training other astrologers, or not him, but
he's creating a big network. Yeah. I mean, he says he has multiple television channels dedicated to astrology.
Yeah,
I think he may be saturating it.
Yeah.
He's not diversifying his market or his portfolio,
as we're told
find
many
out
times
later.
But then it's sort of like, this is all the details are so sketchy at this point, and they just rush through everything. He's like,
and then I did this and I was horribly successful and everyone loves me.
He's apparently working for the US Navy for some reason.
Well, we know it's the U.S. Navy because the guy is in a very cramped room with an American flag behind him.
One of the biggest American flags I've ever seen.
The American flag is the entire wall. It's on the side. And it's not clear what exactly he's doing for the Navy, but this guy basically, like, he'll get him out of any trouble. He's like a friend in a high place, basically.
Yeah, so it's implied that he's giving the Navy readings, like the submarine is going to crash, or...
Yeah, like he says it, and you hear him talk about it, but it's like, the moon in Scorpio is across the 7th sign, which means that you should not go to Bermuda this week. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that's right.
And then later it's like, someone gave a reading about this, and it stopped this whole sub from all these people dying, and so... Yeah, he's a psychic, I guess, too, but using astrology
for the military.
It's brushed over so fast.
I know, it's just so vague.
Yeah,
what's happening.
My favorite scene in the movie, though, my favorite thing is at one point he's having like a tea party in his backyard, and like all great rich people. He has like dozens of works of art just laying around.
Oh, yeah. And they're not even like appraising them. They're just there.
They're just lying in the sun.
They're just there.
That's not good for the art, sir.
They're on the grass in the sun, and they're just sort of propped up, so like they can all see them. And his house,
not like one or two, like dozens of them just surrounding him.
And he's got this like kind of mansion, and he's got the pool in the backyard, but then the pool has all these like astrological symbols around it on the ground.
Yeah, like painted on the ground. It's very cute. And I will just say, like, who was this guy? How did he get the money to make this movie? Because like at this point we're in huge like mansions. Like, I mean, a lot of the indoor sets don't look so hot, but like
it shows him when he first comes to America. It's a scene in a bank.
Oh yeah, no, I meant the actual Craig Denny in real life.
Oh, it's so hard to separate the actor and the character.
Yeah,
it's like we're looking through a window at just all of this happening in real time. The documentary. One
thing I want to say also about Craig Denny is he doesn't look of his time. He looks like he could be in like a 90s like sex comedy. He doesn't look like he's from the 70s. He looks like a modern young man, like a man boy.
Kind of reminded me of,
I don't know if it's the haircut or what.
He reminded me of a young Don Johnson, but not as cool and manly.
You know, he reminded me of now I don't know his name. That guy who was in a lot of movies in the 90s, and he was in that movie A Perfect Getaway with Mila Jovovich.
Oh, you're talking about Steve Zahn.
Yeah, he reminds me of Steve Zahn.
I don't know.
He has that look.
I don't know. He's got kind of like a Matt Damon-y thing going on too.
Oh, no, he has a Matt Berry thing going on.
Oh yeah, he also does kind of. Again, I think it's the hair.
Yeah, that's right.
I would love. I mean, it would serve no purpose, but if like they remade it and Matt Berry played the astrologer role,
it
would be just like a hilarious parody of a movie that's already ridiculous.
Yes, it would make no sense.
I'm going to read your horoscope, milady.
So. Now, do we want to talk about the return of Darian?
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
So
It's
the real star of the movie.
Oh, my God. It's so amazing.
She barely even talks in this movie.
No, you're thinking Darian is the guy, isn't it?
No, Darian is his who becomes his wife.
Oh, my God. You mean his cousin in real life?
Yes. Oh, you're talking about his best friend who becomes his financer.
Okay,
I like that guy too.
I thought that was Darian.
Sorry, Darian in this movie is a woman's name. It can be both.
Okay.
I don't know what the best
his friend shows up and he has been ravaged by age.
Yes, he's had some white spray paint on his head and mustache because he was at the carnival at the very beginning.
Yeah, he's like, I fell in the cotton candy machine before coming here.
It's like the fakest looking old
watch
age
out.
hair. But why does he age and Craig Denny looks exactly the same?
Well, because
moisturizing.
he's been in that island sun. You think that'd be worse on his skin? Anyway.
Yeah. But
Nope, he found the secret.
he shows back up into the movie, and Craig Denny wants to hire him as his accountant, his financier, not financier, sorry.
Just in charge of his finances.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know anything about this stuff.
And he's like, well, you used to hustle people. Used to hustle people at the circus. Now there's no difference between $5 and $5 million.
Okay.
Yeah. And this guy is funny because you can also tell he's a non-actor, but he's trying. He's trying hard.
I think he gives one of the best performances in the movie. I'm sorry.
I agree, but there's
so good.
There's something perfect about his amateurness.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go, there's many scenes in this movie that I could consider my favorite, but rewatching it today was so funny. It was his big scene at the end.
Yeah, the big climactic scene that ends the movie.
It is like this amazing monologue by him. He's just giving Craig Denny a dressing down, and like the whole audience is just fist pumping because he's
you're going down, baby, right in the muck. He keeps saying baby, which is hilarious to me.
Isn't he like, you can be an astrologer, but you can also be an asshole.
No, it's like, you're not an astrologer, you're an asshole.
And then he like gestures wildly and goes, I quit. He pounds his fist on the...
It's so amazing.
But that's the last scene of the movie. We skipped over the fact that he reunites with the love of his life, who has fallen into sin in a drug den with stuff like "life is shit" written on the wall.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So she's become a prostitute, and he finds her. It reminded me of that scene in The Butterfly Effect where there's the alternate universe where
Ashton Kutcher strangles himself in the womb with his own umbilical cord.
Not that one. The one where he finds his ex-girlfriend, Holly something. Anyway, no, Amy Smart.
Or the classic scene where he wakes up and he has no arms and legs.
That's right.
Like, no,
not that one. The one where his girlfriend is a prostitute.
Yeah,
and she's like horribly ravaged by drugs and she has like scars all over her face.
Oh, right.
Darian's not that bad, but yeah, she wrote "life is shit" on her mirror. Come on.
There's like many.
Yeah, and like God is dead, I think.
Yeah, life is shit. This is the sleaziest looking, filthiest looking room. Oh God, it's so disgusting to look at.
And there's a great cameo from the rat from The Departed who's running across a windowsill at one point.
Oh, and she's kind of like drugged out and really drunk, and she's like, "Oh, did so and so send you? Like, just leave your money on the dresser." And then he kind of looks around the room, and there's like, big piles of cigarettes in the ashtray, just like booze bottles. There's like tons of like empty beer cans in the corner. And then it's like one of the things that he kind of rests on is like this bottle of milk of magnesia.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I don't know, but it's like, it's just so disgusting. And then, he looks up at the window and there's like a rat crawling along the window frame.
And then the Rolling Stones kick in. It's like, dan, dan, dan.
That's the one song he didn't steal. So he's just like, he doesn't even react much. He's just like, I'm taking you away from this.
I mean, he can't. His face is probably frozen from plastic surgery. Or something like that.
And then isn't it the next scene they're getting married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. And then the complications start already with these amazing montages in the movie.
So many montages. It's amazing.
Well, around this time is when he decides that he wants her to star in his movies, right?
Right. So there's like a scene in...
The one outside with all the paintings.
Which like a very Zsa Zsa Gabor
I was going to say
actress.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. She sounds like Zsa Zsa Gabor. And she's like, you can't fire me. It was really funny. And she was hilarious.
Yeah.
And she was a good actress.
She's like, your wife is not an actress. And he's like, oh, you don't need talent to make it as a star.
No, he said
in
this country, that you don't need to be an actress to be a movie star. You of all people should know that. He's really mouthing off. And she's like, yeah, you can't talk to me like that. I'm not temperamental. It's well done.
Yeah, she leaves, and then he turns to his finance buddy, and he's like, what was it? You treat actresses like hamburger meat. You buy them by the pound. It's just like, oh God, you're so despicable.
This guy's an asshole, yeah.
Or you hire your cousin. That's the only people who will work with you.
Yeah. And so very soon after, they go out to dinner in what is probably the most famous scene in the movie.
Oh, that's
and
so
I just
good.
say famous because this is probably the one that sticks out most to people who have seen it, I'm guessing. I mean, for a movie that has not been seen by that many people.
There's a trailer that was circulating around, and this scene takes up most of the trailer.
Okay, so the dinner scene, which is all set to music with no dialogue, and it's a song called Grand Hotel by this band called Procol Harum.
Procol Harum?
Yes.
I've never
Apologies if you've heard of that and I'm saying it wrong. So they're famous because they did that song Whiter Shade of Pale. You know that song? It's a whiter shade of pale. Yeah, it goes like that. Anyway, they're kind of they're a British rock band. They're kind of like I want to say prog rock. Then I looked it up on Wikipedia. Apparently they're proto-prog.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, this song is very like symphonic and crazy, but then has like these electric guitars. I mean, I loved it. I think it's great.
This whole scene is amazing, and the song fits it so well. But it's it's him and his wife kind of having a nice dinner at first, and then it's
really slow at first.
Yeah, and then it cuts to them, and it's like they're in slow motion. You can't hear what they're saying. But the song is
a young Zack Snyder shot. This.
Yeah, like she says something, he reacts kind of poorly to it, and gradually they just get angrier and angrier. If you could read lips, you could probably make out what they're saying.
I can tell she's saying something along the lines of no, and he's saying I think something like you can't, something like that. But the thing is, we never hear what they're arguing about.
No.
What do you think they were arguing about? Something I'm guessing she said she didn't want to be in movies anymore, and that she was going to cheat on him. Maybe.
I don't think she would be announcing that at dinner if she was.
Well, what could maybe?
I'm going to cheat on you.
They're arguing so much that she throws a drink in his face.
And this is so funny. It's like you don't see what's throwing water on his face. It's not wine.
It's just a big.
It's just water. It's like somebody took a bucket. It's like a gallon of water, like right in his face, and then it cuts to her, and then he throws his wine glass, which is water again. It's really funny. It's one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him just walking to a newspaper that says "Movie Queen filed for divorce," and in the corner it says "Senate okay, still needed."
The flying newspapers are really funny.
Isn't there like a whole sequence with him going to Quebec?
Well, there's a sequence where I think it's talking about all his like successes that he has, but they're all different newspapers from around the world with like fake titles. So like the French one we would call like the Eiffel Tower or something like that, and it just goes on and on.
It's like famous astrologer, blah blah. He's like the most famous person in the world at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people cannot get enough of Alexander.
And then he finds out, I guess his wife is cheating on him, but maybe she announced it at dinner. I don't know.
She invites him.
April's our lip reader, so that's probably what she said.
She invites him over to the house at one point.
It's so confusing.
Why? Like as if she either doesn't care or she doesn't think he knows, and she's like, "Come on in, I'll go get you a drink." And then Craig is like, "Get the hell out of here!" And then she comes back. Where did he go? It's really
she's
awkward.
like, I need to go to my bed to watch what looks like a Mexican Red Riding Hood movie.
Yeah, so she's in bed and
he's in the
he's like, don't worry, my husband won't be back for weeks.
The lover is in there.
It's like, haven't they broken up?
Yeah, it's very strange.
I know, because she's like, this is my husband. So it's like, well, that flying newspaper said you were filing for divorce. But maybe they just haven't got divorced yet.
Maybe he's just jealous. He doesn't want her, even though she's his ex. He's jealous.
They're still living together. So an amazing scene happens where he comes in and
Craig Denny breaks down the door.
The lover in his underwear jumps out the glass window.
This is a pretty dangerous looking stunt, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is
honestly,
like
I
candy
can't
glass.
even describe it. You just have to see it. And it happens so fast because he shoots a gun at him.
He shoots the guy and he goes like, "You bitch." And he shoots the guy and he jumps out in like slow-mo and tighty whities like through this candy glass.
Smash cut to Craig Denny with the Navy
He was
guy.
lucky if it was candy glass.
with the Navy guy, and the Navy guy goes, I can't keep bailing you out like this or something like that. Then smash cut to him drunk with his finance friend, and his friend's like, why'd you have to kill him? Oh my God, he killed him? Yeah. And then he just got off because he's rich and famous, and the Navy guy bailed him out.
Yeah, everybody is aware that he murdered this guy, and nobody seems to care.
And while they're talking, they cut to a shot of him in the coffin, and it like zooms in like it's, you know, very, very 70s, like a cut zoom in. Oh my God, it was hilarious. And it's just like, again, that escalated very quickly.
But then you also bring up one of the scene where, you know, everything is crashing down around the astrologer. So he's there with his buddy, and they're just sitting in his backyard.
It's falling apart.
It's like a lock-off.
Falling apart.
Lock-off scene. It's like, all right, we have to drunk improvise for the next 5 minutes. And it's just them passing this like Mickey of booze back and forth. Like, you want some more?
Yeah, they're doing like the super exaggerated.
Wait, isn't there like a conversation where it's like, you know, you lost your wife, and then it fades to his wife.
Yes.
It's like your friends, and then it fades to his friend, and it's like, and miscellaneous. And then it fades to like a bunch of other things.
He says, I don't need my wife. Picture of wife. I don't need the military, and I don't need you. And he points at his friend, and then it has a picture of his friend.
It fades from a shot of his friend to another shot of his friend.
It's like he's right in front of you.
This kind of editing is really the lifeblood of this movie.
Oh, it's so good.
And while there are very long, boring stretches, particularly in that first half,
yeah, for sure,
this type of editing really ramps up in the second half. And if it didn't have this, it wouldn't have anything.
It just makes it all the more baffling, and you're just so confused during the whole movie. But yeah, and then we get this amazing drunk improv scene. Neither of these two guys can act drunk, and it's just like the most, you know,
they're doing their best. But
high school acting
funny.
drunk.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then our good friend the astrologer gets slapped with say $2 million in back taxes by the IRS.
Yeah. We're told in a flying newspaper form.
Yeah, well, they actually show up at his house at one point, and they're like, "You've only paid us $35,000. You owe us $2 million or something like that." Yeah, that happens at one.
Oh, there's a really funny newspaper where it says Alexander predicts mother will recover,
and then the very next one,
newspaper,
mother dies.
Alexander's mother dead at 62.
That's really the end of the movie. That's over like the last shot. I mean, we're basically at the end here.
Yeah.
He has that scene where his friend says, "I quit," and you're an asshole. We're talking.
And he says, "Well, who needs you anyway?" And then it immediately cuts to him in his backyard, just sitting by his pool, and it's
in the dark.
It's the end of the movie.
And the flying newspapers say that, you know, how he's had his downfall. They said the one about his mom dying, and then it cuts to this weird scene that looks like something from Jesus Christ Superstar, where like there's like an orange sunset in the background, and his like wind is blowing, and then there's a quote from King Lear.
Yeah, it's like a Shakespeare
like,
quote.
Oh my God,
this is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars. King Lear, Act 1, Scene 2, Shakespeare.
Oh my God, the ego on this guy.
I know. I completely misremembered this scene. I always remember him being dead, floating in the pool at the end.
So more of like a Tommy Wiseau.
A wish fulfillment.
I know. It's like, oh my God. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Did you guys even say what your favorite thing was?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
I said the paintings.
I think I said the bar scene.
The paintings
the bar
in the grass.
scene with the tiki bar.
Yeah, there's a couple of tiki bar scenes, but that one, oh my God.
Wait, what was your favorite, Colin?
The
final scene.
Yeah,
right.
the one he's getting dressing down from his friend.
Well, one thing about this movie, I wonder, is that do you think it would be as good without the copyright music? Like, you could re-edit this with sound-alikes that would probably fit, but I feel like it would be really missing a lot, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think that Lionsgate could easily do something like music-wise, because think of stuff like Mission Hill got DVD releases and they replaced all of the music on that.
Yeah. I mean, how much are the rights going to be from like the Moody Blues?
Moody Blues.
Lionsgate just doesn't care. Like, they just don't want to try.
It's probably just such an oddity. Like, who cares about this movie? Like,
if it gets enough traction, though, like by people like us, maybe, hey, this could be like the Snyder Cut. Release The Astrologer by Craig Denny.
But it's out already. Like, Lionsgate's like, we don't even have to think about it anymore.
Which would be great if this would just stay on YouTube and then anybody can watch it.
But what if it becomes such a thing that's like maybe they could see some money in it? Like, oh, all right, maybe we'll.
To be honest, if you made a Blu-ray of this with tons of special features, of course I would buy it.
Yeah, they'd sell like 150 copies.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Did you notice the end credits? It says photographed in Astrovision.
Yeah, I did. What the?
Is that like an astrologer vision?
Astrology vision.
I do like. They keep cutting back to his home office. And when he first meets his friend, he's like, check this out. It's my celestial mirror. And it's like a mirror that's next to him that is like green screen. And it just has like, floating footage of the universe and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
He's like, yeah. And his friend is clearly green screened over it.
He's like, oh, it looks
cool. I don't know what purpose it serves. But I don't know. Looks neat.
Well, as we mentioned, this is on YouTube. Search The Astrologer.
We'll probably tweet it out with this.
I'll tweet a link
release,
when I release this episode. But it says like, what does it say? Brand new film discovered in 2K or
like
old film
lost
discovered,
film
lost
2K
film,
or
something like that. I don't think the other Astrologer is on YouTube.
No, it's on Tubi. But
the thumbnail is a picture of Craig Denny. He's unmistakable
with like a red headband or something like that. But. Yeah, do check it out. Like, as I said, if it's shows anywhere or you get an opportunity to see it.
And it's short.
Before it gets pulled. Yeah, it's 79 minutes and it's just such...
I would be shocked if anybody pulled it.
Yeah.
Like, no one knows who the guy that probably funded all of it is right now.
Somebody would have to claim it and they probably just can't be bothered.
And I feel like Lionsgate is like, yeah, we do own the rights to it. Will you be giving us money?
Yeah.
But, I mean, YouTube is also... notoriously bad for copyright flagging. I mean, I'm so surprised the songs in this didn't get it. It probably did.
They did get flagged. So the way YouTube works now is you can get flagged for music and you can't monetize your video.
Oh, okay.
That's the punishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so this isn't monetized, which I'm sure is fine because whoever uploaded probably just wanted it to be seen. And if it was monetized, it would have ads in it, and we don't want that either.
Nicholas Winding Refn himself maybe uploaded it.
Could be.
Probably.
Anyway, as I said, it plays much better with a crowd. So, hey, if you have a bunch of bad movie fans, maybe, watch it all together in a chat room or however the kids are doing it these days. Discord or whatever.
Yeah, it's just baffling and confusing.
It's quite funny. And it's not like the most entertaining movie in the world, but it's just such an oddity. You got to check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
You really got to. And if you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com. And if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/no such thing as no such thing as a bad movie. If you sign up on the $5 level, you get tons of bonus content, tons of bonus episodes. We have a mini episode that comes out every 2 weeks. We just recorded it on the Zack Snyder Justice League. The talk of the town.
Hollywood
town. We also
town.
did a big bonus, didn't we, April?
We did. We also have a bonus episode coming out to our $5 patrons where we did about an hour-long Q&A where we took some questions from the Patreon and Twitter community. And that'll be coming out very soon. If not, it might already be out by the time this comes out. I'm not sure. I haven't edited it yet.
Which star of the OC does Justin think is the dreamiest?
Peter Gallagher?
Well, definitely Adam Brody. There's no contest.
Peter Gallagher's eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Peter Gallagher. I forgot he was in that.
I know.
What you say?
I've been rewatching The OC, if that's not clear. It's a fantastic show. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at No Such Thing Pod. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at April at Mansky. And I'm on Instagram and Letterboxd. And I also was on last week's episode of This Film Is Lit. I did 2 episodes with them on The Never-Ending Story, Part 1 and 2. So if you like never-ending stories or books or movies, check out that podcast.
If you like never-ending stories. You can check me out on Twitter, DeClueJ, DECLOUX letter J, on Letterboxd at Justin DeClue, same spelling, or on the Important Cinema Club, the Basic Video Podcast, and this podcast every week. I'm forgetting, what other podcast do I have? Or you can buy Blu-rays that I make at goldninjavideo.com.
I'm still laughing at if you're a fan of never-ending stories.
Hey, I am. We're out there. Other ones are out there.
Oh, man. You can follow me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it. Keep
watching the sky.
Yeah, I was going to say reading the stars. Because, astrology, it could completely change your life or it could ruin it. I'm April Mansky.
Yeah, look at that Shakespeare quote. I'm Justin DeClue.
And I am Colin Kenningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.